Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Dslr and you're watching Choice TV. So in today's video we have to get on here and talk about the fact that YouTube, TikTok, and a lot of social media platforms are going through a downward spiral. More specifically, TikTok and YouTube. Now let me just talk about the fact that TikTok is not going to be here very long, and I saw this coming a long time ago. If y'all didn't know, in America, TikTok is basically going to be banned very soon, and even Joe Biden, the president of the United States, made it very clear that if there's a whole bill that comes to his desk that says that they want to get rid of TikTok, he will sign it.
Briefing, a House committee voted unanimously to pass the bill. With a rare level of bipartisan support, the bill would remove TikTok from app stores in the U.S. if it is not divested from its Chinese parent company, BITXH.
The CCP is using TikTok as a spyware tool on Americans. They're weaponizing our kids. They have spread misinformation.
President Biden says he supports it.
If they pass it, I'll sign it.
But not everyone is sold on the move.
And the reason he's going to sign that shit with his ugly, dusty ass is because TikTok is low-key problematic. TikTok is a great platform. People have been able to make a lot of money from it. People have been able to revive their businesses, their brands. TikTok has created so many opportunities for entrepreneurs, people who sell cosmetics, people who sell soap, people who do crocheting, people who do hair braiding, nails. TikTok has just been free advertisement, and overall it's just done a lot of good for people. But TikTok is problematic more so for politicians because they can't tax it. It's a Chinese app. And for those of y'all who don't know anything about China, China is a very communist country.
Now, just to make things clear, even Trump had a problem with it. Now, TikTok isn't going anywhere yet. However, TikTok needs to partner with an American company if they actually want to stay, because America made it very clear, unless we get a piece of that pie, y'all are not going to be tracking our citizens because we care about safety. And the issue isn't about safety. The issue is the fact that TikTok can't be controlled by America, which means their algorithm, the news that gets pushed, the things that get promoted to children, China has control over that and not America. And America has a problem with that. And the issue is China is a very communist country, and because they love tracking things, they use a lot of the information they get from Americans, and they use a lot of information they get from making and controlling things to literally keep people enslaved. And yes, I like TikTok, but it is problematic because, again, it does track people's information. And America has a problem with that because America wants to do all the tracking. Y'all know that little page that pops up whenever y'all go on a website that says accept cookies or decline cookies? You think they're trying to give you cookies, bitch? No, they're actually trying to track your information. That's what they mean by track your cookies. They literally want to be in your business. They want to track what other websites you're surfing. And when you accept it to make the little page go away, they literally can see what other pages you're browsing, what kind of things you're looking for, what kind of things you're searching for, what kind of things your age demographic might be interested in, what kind of things they can sell you, and how they can track you. We all have a digital footprint on the internet, even if you may think that you're very low-key, but you really aren't. Now, the CEO of TikTok, Xiao Shi, literally did a press conference recently, and he was basically grilled about the privacy issues, and this is what he had to say, and he definitely deflected from a lot of the questions.
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the
So if I have
question.
TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
Is it possible then that it could access other devices on that home Wi-Fi network?
Congressman, we do not do anything that is beyond any industry norms. I believe the answer to your question is no. It could be technical. Let me get back to you.
Okay, I'd appreciate it if you could answer that.
So essentially what Mr. Xiao Shi is basically saying is, but y'all do it to each other, you do it to your citizens, we just do it on a more greater scale. We're China, who cares? So essentially this is like the pointing the finger effect. Like the, well, why do you care what we're doing in our country when you're tracking people but just more in subtle and sneakier ways? At least we're open about it and transparent about it. And believe it or not, TikTok has a lot of our information. You know, a lot of y'all who click on those terms and conditions that you have to accept before you join the app, and when you open the app, yes, most of y'all who use the app accepted it, and most of y'all, I guarantee you, didn't read it. But guess what? China has a lot of our information. They know what to sell you. They know who you are. They know your age demographic, and they know what you might like and what you might not like. And America is not necessarily saying we want TikTok out of here. What they're saying is we want a piece of that pie. So partner with an American company or you're out of here. And honestly, I wouldn't blame China if they said, fuck y'all, we've already got what we needed. We're not giving y'all nothing.
China is a very communist country to the point where they regulate and control everything. You can't even surf the web without it being controlled, regulated, or censored. You can't even look for unbiased news in China because everything is regulated, controlled, and censored. You know, the citizens of China are basically slaves because, let's be honest, there's cameras everywhere that can literally track your ID, track who you are, track where you're at, and there's even a social credit score where if you are not on your best behavior, China will make it very clear you can't put your kids in these school, you can't go here, you can't travel here, you can't do this, and they will literally take away your rights if they don't think you're an upstanding person.
Everywhere she goes, Ouyang Haoyu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves, is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Haoyu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
It's a mechanism like...
Are people bothered by privacy concerns?
We think a lot of camera keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Zhou Aini are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Huang Huijun lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools. The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it. Something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it.
Not a criminal, but if they don't think you're an upstanding person, you say anything bad about their government, China will shut your shit down and they will pull up to your house and they will give you all types of fees, fines, and shadow ban you from society.
They've literally brainwashed society in China to think that that shit is okay. Like, oh, it's okay because, you know, at least it keeps us safe and people are going to be good people. But what the fuck is a good person? Everybody has their own definition of what they think a good person should be. Of course, a good person has a moral compass, but what if the government gets to decide what they think is a good person so that way they can control you? And also, check this out. A lot of y'all don't know this, but when you use TikTok, did you know that when you're watching things like X-rated content, other content, searching on things, logging on to things, researching things, did you know that TikTok can also track your browsing history? Yes, TikTok makes it very clear in their terms and conditions that yes, browsing and searching history, including content that you have viewed in the platform, is being scanned and calculated for their algorithm. Imagine if you decide to go to China one day, or imagine if you want to visit a country or a territory that randomly got invaded by China in the next 10 years, and they say, oh, sorry, we see your browsing history according to your name, and we see that you one time said something negative about China on Twitter based off of what we tracked on your IP address, or you were looking up negative information about us, so we just don't think it's a good idea for you to enter this space because according to our records, your score is low in a different country. So yeah, according to this information that we now have that you gave us access to because you use TikTok, we can now use all of it against you. Doesn't that suck that the #1 biggest platform in the world can literally do that to you? Now, America has a problem because, again, America doesn't have a piece of that pie. They won't adopt these beliefs because, again, America is a very free country compared to other places. For now, let's not forget what Black Mirror tried to warn us about a couple years ago. For now. But best believe America wants to cash in on that, and they don't like the idea of China being able to do that on their watch.
And America has a problem with it because they know if someone's going to get away with tracking your information and using your data and selling it, it needs to be the American government. And that's why America's trying to get rid of TikTok. TikTok is problematic because, again, when someone has access to your data and your information, you really never know what they'll promote to your kids. TikTok In China, they have their own version of TikTok called Dimyu or something like that. And with that platform, people under a certain age can't even use it. They can't scroll through it, and they're able to regulate it. So they're able to teach a lot of people who are under the age of 18 about life skills, bills, finances, structure, patience, and teach them how to be structured.
In their version of TikTok, if you're under 14 years old, they show you science experiments you can do at home, museum exhibits, patriotism videos, and educational videos. And they also limit it to only 40 minutes per day. Now, they don't ship that version of TikTok to the rest of the world. So it's almost like they recognize that technology is influencing kids' development, and they make their domestic version a spinach version of TikTok, while they ship the opium version to the rest of the world.
And then y'all wonder why y'all kids are gremlins because they scroll through TikTok for 5 hours a day, and the minute they're told to put their phones away and stop scrolling through TikTok, all of a sudden it's absolute chaos. Ask anybody you know that's a teacher and they'll tell you that these kids are out of hand. They're virtually slaves to their cell phones. You know, back then people had Blackberries, sidekicks, and people were distracted by drawings and magazines and stuff like that when I was in school. But then with the way TikTok is going and how it's literally meant to literally brainwash you to where you're literally tunnel vision to your phone, y'all wonder why America has a problem with it. It's not just America trying to cash in on it, which, you know, they definitely do want to do that, but it's also just the fact that it's stirring a lot of chaos because China knows what they're doing. They're trying to literally fuck up the attention span of the youth. So I get it. I understand it. I mean, I honestly don't want TikTok to leave. But in my mindset is, man, if they get rid of it, fuck TikTok. I'll find something else to go on. But the war on TikTok doesn't just begin with politics and cybersecurity. It also goes as far as the music industry. There's an agenda to literally get rid of TikTok because the music industry isn't making as much money because they're having to rely on exposure just to make money. Hence why a lot of your favorite TikToks are now muted because record labels are tired of TikTok not sharing their pie. Grammy Award singer-songwriter Money Long recently got most of her music muted off of TikTok. Now we all know Money Long is blowing up with that song Made For Me, which is that song Nobody Loves Me or however it goes, is blowing up. And she got a lot of her song muted because, of course, TikTok is not playing with a lot of these record labels. They want 100% of the pie, and they're paying in exposure. And these record labels try to propose a deal so that way they can get an even split, and TikTok has all the power, and they basically said no. So record labels were pissed, and a lot of record labels, a lot of publishing companies wanted all their music removed off of the platform. And that's messed up because a big reason why a lot of us even pay attention to Mooney Long was because of her music that blown up on TikTok within the past 2 years. Then there's Ice Spice. Every time Ice Spice drops a song, she immediately releases it on TikTok, and then TikTok blows it up. And from when it blows up, she utilizes all the buzz and the press she gets from TikTok to release the song and to get numbers. TikTok played a very big role in people like Lil Nas X's career, Billie Eilish's career, and many other people. And I know some of y'all are probably thinking, oh my God, but like, why should I give a fuck? And you shouldn't. Fuck them. They already got money. Now they got to utilize their fucking talent to actually build a profit and catapult themselves to their own type of success. At the end of the day, fuck them. They already got money. If they didn't capitalize the way they needed to or invest their money the right way, that's their fucking business. Did they give a fuck about the people that were literally striking because they weren't making enough at McDonald's? Did they give a fuck about the people that were striking because they wanted to hurry up and go back to work? Did they give a fuck about the city workers who were striking because they weren't making enough money to sustain and take care of all these major cities all across the world? Nope. So why should we give a fuck about these people? Fuck them. Moving right along.
Now, this has a lot of people in this new generation in the chokehold because a lot of people have quit their jobs, a lot of people have quit their 9-to-5s and have pursued TikTok and content creating as a hustle.
This app is so much more than just an app for dumb TikTok dances. So when I hear these elected officials literally mock and make fun of TikTok and its creators, I'm disgusted.
The message that I really want to get home to the American government and everybody that is trying to pass this bill is you will be destroying small businesses like us. This is our livelihood. If you pass this bill, you will be destroying the American dream that we really believe in.
However, shortly after starting making TikToks, I went viral and started being able to make money off of brand partnerships. Now, I know a lot of people think TikTok is just this silly little app that kids use to dance on, but for me, this has been my job for the last 2 years and it's been amazing. have been able to travel. I moved to Europe and I moved back. I'm building out my 3rd van right now that I'm sitting in, and it's given me so much freedom that I never would have imagined. I never thought I would be here. I have a love-hate relationship with social media in general. I don't love the time I spend on it, but I love the platform that it gives people to use their voice. And honestly, to me, and I think a lot of other creators, this ban just feels like a huge slap in the face. Because whether you think it is or not, making content is work. And it is hard. And it is a source of income for a lot of people. And removing TikTok is basically saying that you're firing a lot of people. You're taking their jobs away, not to mention all the small businesses that use this platform to market their small businesses. I mean, I've seen so many businesses go viral on here and become super successful. For a lot of people, it's their life, it's their livelihood, it's their income, it's their small business marketing tool. And it is just ridiculous to me that people that know nothing about it think it's okay to take that away.
People are even going as far as saying that they may even consider suing the U.S. government for lost wages and opportunities.
So is the government going to pay me the income that I lose when they ban TikTok? Or no?
But I commented on this and somebody told me about the Federal Tort Claims Act, and that is where you can file a lawsuit against the federal government, especially if they're interfering with your income.
Now, it's so much deeper than people doing little TikTok dances. People don't just get paid by musicians and record labels to dance to music. A lot of people get paid on TikTok from commission. Now, most of y'all have noticed, if you do use social media, that it's basically turned into a big-ass fucking QVC page, where now everywhere you go, it's a big-ass shopping outlet. Now, a lot of influencers have been able to cash in on it thanks to TikTok.
I just quit my fucking job. I just quit a job that has been my career for a very long time. And the reason I quit my job is because I just made $60,000 in less than 1 month using the TikTok Shop affiliate program. You heard that right, and you're seeing this right. 60 grand.
What are you selling that to where you made $88,000 just?
This is what I sold to make $86,000 my first month on TikTok Shop. My first full month. I started August 14th.
Now, TikTok has something called commission-based sale, where if you talk about, I don't know, a product or something you bought on Amazon or any website you have the hookup with can set it up on your TikTok to where you get a commission off of every sale. So if somebody buys a $30 flat iron or a $20 brush, you can literally get a percentage out of that person's sale. So TikTok has made it to where a lot of people can make a lot of money, and it really does suck that a lot of people are going to lose this. But cry me a river, bitch. At the end of the day, social media is a stepping stool. It should not be a full-time thing. You should be pursuing other things. Make a cookbook, bitch. Make a fucking podcast. Create a YouTube channel. Create merchandise. Create other facets of income. Who the fuck do you think you are sitting up here thinking that you're entitled to a social media platform? Hell, even me. I'm not entitled to shit that YouTube decides to fucking give me. If YouTube shuts down today, I'd be able to rely on a lot of other things. But best believe a lot of people are putting so much energy on these on these social media platforms without realizing that it could all be gone tomorrow.
Because for a lot of people, they think being an influencer is like winning the lottery. But look at TikTok. TikTok is ultimately disappearing. But people don't realize that the way being a content creator works is you have to constantly adapt. There are some moments where you make a good amount of money to take care of yourself. And there are some moments when you're an influencer where you probably won't make anything unless you actually budgeted your money correctly and you have enough relationships, and you have a good manager, or you have a good publicist, or you have a good set of people on your team who are able to find other ways for you to make money.
This is not a joke. As I stated earlier, it's not all just free money and glitz and glamour. You know, people don't have to feel bad for influencers. Influencers should be feeling bad for themselves and adapting. Part of being a content creator is adapting. You know, look at the YouTuber and famous Instagrammer Shy the Greatest. She recently came forth and said that she actually had to take a break from influencing, and now she's actually working a 9-to-5 job. You know, she even said that when she was an influencer making mad money on the internet, she recently had the government, aka, you know, the IRS, coming at her because she wasn't paying her taxes. And and they even froze her income because of all this money she was making that she couldn't even keep up with.
This particular time, I was dealing with IRS stuff. So I was trying to get my business, child money collection, back riding. But the IRS had came after me because I owed them so many sales tax. It's been times where, because I didn't reply back, the IRS literally took all the funds out of my checkings, my savings, my business accounts. All of my accounts said 000 one day. It was the IRS's doing. And I could not purchase anything for like an entire weekend because I didn't have no money in my account because they placed a lien on it. Once I learned from that mistake, I told myself, anytime the IRS hit my phone, I'm gonna reply back immediately as soon as I can.
Being an influencer is not lucrative. Yes, I said it because many of your faves won't say it. Being an influencer is not lucrative. Now, Mr. Beast, the popular YouTuber who we all know for his crazy social experiments and his crazy games on his platform, and the most subscribed YouTuber on the platform, even stated recently in a tweet that went viral and got a lot of controversy that being an influencer is not lucrative, and he said, and I quote,
"It's painful to see people quit their job, drop out of school to make content full time before they're ready. For every person like me that makes it, thousands don't. Keep that in mind and be smart, please." And he says some real shit, because just like any other occupation, being an influencer won't be lucrative unless you're smart. Now, a lot of people think that they're going to get all this free money, but that's not reality.
Being an influencer, a lot of times people think that it's like winning the lottery, that you just got very lucky, that you get all this free money, all this free stuff. All these influencers we see with free wigs and free clothes and free sneakers and free shoes and getting deals from, restaurants and getting deals to fly across the world. They think a lot of that is like winning the lottery and that you're very lucky and getting all this free money. And in many cases, it is the case. You get a lot of free stuff, you get a lot of cool opportunities, and you get to be famous. So cool, until you realize the reality that a lot of your favorite Instagram models are actually escorts and hookers and are actually going to Dubai and getting pissed and shit on. Until you realize that a lot of your favorite influencers are scammers. I mean, look at Mary Jane Byron, the famous YouTube traveler. We thought she was doing so well traveling the world and going to all these foreign countries. Come to find out, she's scamming people, and she's still scamming people to this day, because I have people literally emailing me bullshit like this saying that they were scammed by Mary Jane Byron. So it's just little stuff like this that shows you that being an influencer is lucrative only if you have a game plan.
And it works out for some people. Issa Rae is a stellar actress and one of the most well-polished producers in Hollywood right now. And she got her start on YouTube and being an influencer. So again, I'm not saying that it's not lucrative for everyone. I'm just saying that it's not lucrative for the average person, because the average person doesn't have the work ethic, the intelligence, the capability to network, the capability to make actual relationships, and the capability to monetize their talent and creative ideas. It'll be crazy to see a lot of these influencers in the next 5 years, because best believe a lot of them don't last 5 years. They don't. I said it. They don't last 5 years. They come in the game, they do really well. Then 2-3 years, we might see them a little bit. They might still make money. And then in 5 years, we completely don't hear about them anymore. Because again, that's how long it usually takes. Everyone gets shaken out because you have to be the producer, the manager, the publicist for a very long time, unless you're very lucky to fucking be some little suburban white girl who gets all these fucking managers and all these brand deals.
We've seen YouTube go through a lot of phases. Initially, when most of us started watching YouTube was just a place where there were cat videos, pranks, there were, people doing all types of crazy experiments, slime videos, there were all types of fight videos, and crazy controversial shit you wouldn't find anywhere else.
As you guys know, I am Shanae, and this is my homegirl, black as shit, with a money sign.
However, a lot of YouTubers throughout the years have had to leave the platform because a lot of them ain't making as much money as they used to. And many of them make it very clear that they're not working for free. Now, let's be honest. Most of y'all are subscribed to probably over 500 YouTubers. If you went down your subscription list. From years, some of y'all are subscribed to YouTubers, or if you went down your following list, you'd be like, whoa, I haven't seen that bitch in like 10 years. What happened to her? A lot of YouTubers left, and a lot of YouTubers got kicked out the algorithm. On top of that, your favorite YouTubers were out here doing crazy ass shit. Like, remember that era of YouTube where people were putting ass and titties in the thumbnail? And then eventually, YouTube made it clear that they're not going to allow that kind of content to be pushed. And they started issuing out age restrictions, shadow banning, and much more. They virtually cleaned up the platform because there's all types of crazy people on the platform. And to be honest, a piece of me does condone it, because there was all types of crazy nonsense on the internet. Like Trisha Paytas doing fucking 50 layers of cum challenge.
100 layers of cum.
and all types of people who are posting all types of fight videos, people who are doing finger my poom poom on my period prank, like crazy shit like that. So content creating kind of got out of hand, and that's why a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth about content creators, and that's why a lot of us watching this don't really feel bad for a lot of content creators. For a lot of us, it's like, oh, all well, good riddance. Because people like Logan Paul and Jake Paul kind of were the beginning of the end for a lot of people who respected influencers. And then there's the aspect of taxes and finances. People don't realize that when you're a content creator on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, there's no benefits in it. At least a lot of y'all watching this who have a 9-to-5, where you work, they'll give you benefits like a 401k or a Roth IRA, or they'll give you a separate little savings account where a percentage of your paycheck goes towards that. And then when you're ready to retire, you'll have enough money to lie on and rely on. A lot of these influencers don't have that. You can have that because someone like me, for example, I create something called like a Roth IRA, where every now and then I'll put a little bit percentage of away. When I do get enough money, I'll put a good amount away. So that way when I'm in my 50s and 60s, I can eventually rely on that income for when I want to retire or just relax, or when I want to, you know, take care of something like a health issue in the future. Hopefully it never happens, but it's good to have stuff like that. And then there's online 401ks that you can create where whatever money you get from freelance work or promotion work or brand work, you can allocate a percentage of that towards your retirement. And a lot of influencers never think that. They're just thinking about the now, making content, being creative. They gloat and they brag all day about how well they're doing on OnlyFans and how amazing they're doing on YouTube, but they never tell you how much they're paying in taxes. Now, some make a good amount of money to where they don't have to worry about that, but there's some who make just a good amount to where they can only rely to live on a portion of it. You know, there's YouTubers and OnlyFans who are getting, I know people who do OnlyFans who have literally told me, yeah, I haven't paid my taxes in years. I don't even want to worry about that. Well, bitch, you're going to get an audit very soon because Uncle Sam wants his money if you're making $400,000 the whole year on OnlyFans. Everybody wants to quit their 9-to-5 and be an influencer, but are you ready to pay taxes? Are you okay with being famous? And don't take it as a, oh yeah, influencers to get a regular job. First of all, no job is lucrative. You have to invest into something. If it's not a house, invest into something that you can eventually sell. Start a little side hustle. If you're not going to start a side hustle, make sure your job gives you a 401k. Make sure your job gives you an IRA that you can contribute to all the time. Make sure you have a job that's going to give you some type of benefit so that way you can rely on it. Make sure you utilize your skills. Make sure you constantly are adding to your resume. Make sure you're always updating your resume. Hell, if your job is acting kind of funny and acting kind of weird, make sure as soon as you get home, you apply to as many jobs as you can. You know, you may think you don't fit all the qualifications, but don't let them just rule you out. Don't rule yourself out before they rule you out. You know, apply constantly. Always make sure you have an idea of where you're going to go and what you're going to do. If your current flow of income were to stop, have an idea of where you would jump towards.
Just to wrap it up and get straight to the point, I don't feel bad for influencers. I don't feel bad for YouTubers. Hell, I'm even one of them, and I don't feel bad for anyone who wants to complain and say, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Bitch, apply for a job, start a business, get into real estate, use that $60K you made from affiliate marketing to start a new business. That's what you have to do. Business owners literally sell their businesses all the time. The economy shakes. Sometimes a recession happens and people have to adapt and shake things up. Billionaires, millionaires, the rich, they always have to adapt. You can't just rely on something for the rest of your life. Figure out what's next for you. Eventually, you got to sell your company. Eventually, you have to go to a new social media platform. Look what happened to all the Viners. Look what happened to the YouTubers who couldn't make money on YouTube anymore. They ran to YouTube Shorts, or they ran to Instagram, or they started making brand deals, or they started getting into crypto. You better wake up, baby girl, because time is ticking. The world keeps spinning. The world doesn't have to stop for you because you're mad because they want to get rid of your little app. Grow up. Adapt. That's what a true entrepreneur, that's what a true content creator does. They adapt. Grow up.
But I was down for this video. That's all I got to say on that. Hope everybody can kind of reflect and get an idea of what I was saying. I know this video is all over the place, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch.
You will always be. I say, fire to the rain, watch it burn, I run away, in this turn, and I say, fire to the rain, watch it burn, I set fire to the rain. That's all y'all get for free, and I don't even know the lyrics. Y'all have a good one.